the Bottom Out Barbell Club, and we have the Romanian Deadlift. So this lift is kind of unique as compared to the deadlift because it starts with the eccentric portion of the motion, and it kind of originated. This guy, Romanian Olympic lifter, was performing these for his lower back, help with his cleans, and that's how it got his name. So, Dan, you want to come over and do a quick demonstration here? Just grab the bar.
First to grab the bar?
Yep, just.
You have two ways to grab the bar. The standard one is like this, with overhand, and you have to only this thing. And you have another way that is one overhand and one underhand. And that's better because if the bar starts to fall, in that way it's going up in the other hand. So.
All right, perfect. We're going to demonstrate the stiff leg deadlift.
Okay, so the RDL differs from the stiff-legged deadlift because when you're doing RDLs, you're going to have to slap band in your knee. But so just to demonstrate a stiff-legged deadlift, this has like this basics in bodybuilding. They used to like stand on the bench to get a bigger range of motion, but we're just going to do it from the platform. But you want to be elevated because the idea is to come all the way down with the bar, and that gives the plates room to not hit the floor, and actually you get a little bit more range of motion. So you would start from right here. You can have, like Dan said, you can have both overhand grip or one supinated, one pronated grip, and you're gonna keep your legs locked out, keep that chest big, and just bend, and you're coming right back up.
And the key is to let the bar move away from your legs, and this lets you work a little bit more of your lower back. Take some hamstring out. And what I forgot to have Dan do was demonstrate the actual RDL. So I'll just try with the mixed grip here. And so instead of letting the bar come forward off of my legs like in the stiff leg, I'm going to let it ride along my quads here, come all the way down to about knee. And this usually just allows for your flexibility of the athlete. That's your depth. So I'll come down and get a nice just stretch in my hamstrings here, and then just come back up. Definitely don't want to see any rounding, which is a problem you see with the straight leg deadlift. It's just standing on a box. Guys will come down, and then they start to round their back in order just to get that extra range of motion. But with the RDL, the riding along your quads, like you want to push your hips back. This allows for greater stress or greater work in your hamstrings and glutes. And on the descent, you just want to squeeze and lock out your hips. And as you can see, great range of motion differences in the two exercises. The stiff leg deadlift here definitely has the greater range of motion, but also sacrifices your neutral position for your spine. And in comparison with traditional deadlifts, like I said at the beginning, this is unique because the RDL starts with the eccentric portion of the exercise, while deadlifts, since they start from the floor, start with the concentric portion of the exercise and have a greater range of motion. So a lot more muscle activation, normally a lot more weight will be used in the traditional deadlift versus the RDL, which starts from the hang position. And you want to talk about footwear?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, we will also talk about foot placement for the basic RDL. For it, we want a natural stance that's going to fall inside shoulder width. For comfortability, just you want whatever is natural for you. And same with arm placement for it. You want it outside of shoulder width as well. But what this inside stance will do is it will help to isolate the hamstrings when coming up and descending. But for footwear, most people, it kind of tends to go for the deadlift and where people want to wear flat shoes, because we find with elevated shoes, it kind of pushes the body forward and almost promotes rounding in the back when you're coming up and descending. But they're more promoted, the elevated shoes, if you have bad hip flexibility or overall just hamstring flexibility as well. So.
And as far as cueing for this movement, like I said with the RDL, you know, you want your athlete to start in an athletic stance, and knees are going to be bent. And you want to tell them that the bar is going to ride along their legs, their thighs, and to really push their hips back into the motion. So that way your athlete is distinguishing that exercise from the stiff-legged exercise where the bar is separated from the legs. Another cueing is to squeeze the glutes at the top, which a lot of people actually refer to that as like the American deadlift, which is an RDL with a glute squeeze at the top. And keeping the bar closer to the body in the RDL definitely allows for a safer movement than the stiff-legged deadlift, keeping the pressure off the lower back and the lumbar. And Dan, did you want to talk about spotting?
Depends.
Spotting, just, never mind. So like with the deadlift and many of the other exercises, you wouldn't spot this lift. There's no danger for just chunking the weight and just dropping it. If you can't, if you fail.
There's no part of the body that will be under the bar. So dropping it, as long as you step back while you're doing it, you will be safe.
Right.
And since the bar is so close to the ground, you're not going to want double spotters on each side, because that's, I don't know, it seems a little
No.
overkill.
Yeah, that would actually probably not be safe for anyone. And then, like with the deadlift, you can definitely belt up during this exercise. Of course, not many people go that heavy. They use it as like an accessory lift, but there is that option. I know Niku Vlad would train his lower back with this. He would do 200 kilos, you know, for triples. So just excessive amounts of weight, but it is an option to belt up, although not many people would just avoid the lift altogether if they were maybe in pain or needed to belt up. But, yeah, that's the RDL.